Christmas and a Happy New Year. Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Willie and core underscore days super chatted $1.99.
Willie! You crazy man, you. What's up, everyone? How you guys doing today? Willie, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Vibes surrounded with that little purple star. I love it, man. How are you guys doing on this lovely Thursday? We're making it. It's almost the end of the week. We're doing it. I got a little kiss of Zima Especial to go with my night. I hope everyone's doing. Well, I hope you're doing fantastic. It's important to enjoy your time here on Earth as long as you possibly can. We have so much news to get through today. I have so many things. This is going to be a long stream, so strap in, enjoy. And how's everyone? Check out the chat. Brendan, how we doing, brother? Willie, how we doing? How's everyone doing? Say hello, say shalom, all those good things. Brandon Griner. Yeah, hot off the press. Brittney Griner, Hunter Biden are having an affair. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not true at all. I don't know, but I'm just saying something is in the air and I can feel it. It feels good. I hope you're feeling good. But let's check in. I think I love watching local news talk about Brittney Griner. And then I'm going to get into the Twitter files that just came out because, well, you have to talk about it. But it's like the more I talk about the Twitter files, it's like, duh. But at the same time, it's good to go through it anyways because, you know, confirmation bias. I don't know. Okay, but let's start right in with WNBA star, praise God, Brittney Griner. Just so thankful that we freed her. And then we'll get into some of her WNBA stats. And what better place to start than... Well, let's start with a local news out of San Diego, as they say.
In Russia on drug charges for cannabis oil. She was traded for a Russian arms dealer.
But President Biden says Griner should be back in the United States within 24 hours, allowing her family and her fans to all breathe a sigh of relief.
To get her acquitted or out of the Russian criminal justice system.
Institute at the Whelan, who continues to sit behind bars in a Russian prison.
Only 1% of criminal defendants ever get acquitted in the Russian criminal justice system.
William Pomerantz is the director of the Kennan Institute at the Wilson Center in Washington, D.C. The Kennan Institute is the premier U.S. Center for Russian and Eurasian policy, research, and understanding.
As soon as she was part of that system and became a person of interest, I realized that it would be very difficult to get her acquitted or out of the Russian criminal justice system.
So true. You know, I'm glad she was the priority too, because, you know, there was other ones in the prison, but whatever.
Pomerantz says no one can know for sure what effect Brittney Griner.
Fun fact, San Diego, loosely translated, means bad trade deal. Yeah.
They are.
How dare you say that, Papa? You know it was a good trade deal. This trade deal is a deal that will go down in infamy. Okay, this trade deal is better than anything that could ever happen, ever. All right, this is incredible time to be alive, and you should be thankful because she's important to our community. We'll get into that soon.
Are notoriously horrible. There's hazing, there's torture, there's just not a place that one wants to be in.
But Brittney Griner, seen here without her signature dreadlocks in the prisoner swap with Victor Bout.
What? She's seen here without her signature dreadlocks. The dreadlocks that she's so well known for. Are we even sure it is Brittney Griner? After all, she doesn't have her signature dreadlock look. You know, her Rastafarian look, if you will. A doobie look, a smoker look, a little, let's get a little high and enjoy herself look, okay? She's probably watching Pretty Little Lions. She's probably enjoying some of that Bob Marley, as they say.
A Russian arm.
Like, we had to release Griner. Don't you understand how much this trade meant to the 10 WNBA fans across the globe? Yes. You have no idea what this trade meant to me. As we get into Brittney Griner's all-time stats, career summary. This is Brittney Griner is averaging 17.7 points per game. Boom! Suck it, Michael Jordan. You're trash. 1.8 assists. I mean, it's a freaking assist machine. She's basically the John Stockton of the WNBAs, as they say. So, all you little right-wingers out there who are like, oh, we shouldn't go after her. We should just free the Marine or whatever that is locked up because he went to a destination wedding and now is under, charges, and he's been there for 4 years. All you little right-wingers, think about this. We're going to get this back. 17.7 points per game. That's 17.7 points per game. That's more than you've ever made, huh? Mr. YMCA? Mr. I play basketball during my lunch hour for business? You don't even know. Signature dreadlocks also worn by my local homeless man. On the plus side, this was a 1-for-1 deal. Obama traded 5 terrorists for 1 dessert. I mean, amen. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Always perspective. And don't forget this, 1.8 assists. Okay, that's almost 2. That's basically 2. We're talking 56% field goal percentage. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to this.
Deal.
From an economic standpoint, it looks like, just look at the savings. I mean, think of the savings. This is, you save $1 here, you save $1 there. That's $2. Now the Merchant of Death has been released. Discounted AK-47s are going to be available to every militant terrorist group. And I love that. That was my first thought exactly, was like, wow, the military-industrial complex, I'm sure, is absolutely loving and adoring this trade. What do you mean? We get an arms dealer to go out and start wars for us again? Praise God, dude. This is a good time to be alive. But don't worry, 17.7 points per game. Write that down in your journal tonight before you go to bed. Thank the Lord for Brittney Griner coming back, putting a spark in the LA Sparks. I think that's an WNBA team. Help me fact check me on that. I have some shopping lists for Santa Victor.
Dubbed the Merchant of Death, looks to be healthy and happy to finally be on our way home.
It's good that the Merchant of Death is looking happy and healthy. The Merchant of Death is looking pretty good today.
Merchant of Death looks to be healthy and happy to
Evening,
finally
Queen.
be on our way home.
Is that an equal swap?
It's not an equal swap, but I don't think Brittney Griner is complaining.
It is an equal swap. Are you kidding me? Let's go back again at 17.7 points per game. We're talking 1.8 assists. I mean, can I get an A freaking men? I mean, you better be thanking your lucky stars that we're having this kind of gift back in our presence. I would like to help you fact check that, Derek, but I'm busy scratching my butt. Ugh. Nicolas Cage might get a sequel to Lord of War now, exactly. And also that Jonah Hill movie. Remember when Jonah Hill was like an arms dealer or something? I can't remember what that movie was. Happy and healthy and to continue felicitating hundreds of thousands of deaths. Yeah, me too. Brittney Griner will go on Twitter and complain that she was only worth 1 arms dealer. Yeah. And I love, my favorite thing was like, the gotcha on the right was like, oh, well, now will she stand for the anthem? I'm like, okay. She doesn't care. God. She cares about herself.
Working in Russia was detained on espionage charges in 2018.
Yeah, this guy.
His family has been fighting.
Okay, former Marine going to a destination wedding. You deserve to be there. You're trash.
For his release ever since.
It was believed that there would be a 2-for-2 swap, that 2 Russians would be sent back to the Russian.
My favorite thing, I don't know if people were catching on to the story. Apparently, NBC put out a thing saying Russia said that we could have either or of the criminals, the one that's falsely accused and the one that actually did have marijuana oil. Let's just say that they're both terrible and shouldn't be charged. And it's not we shouldn't even consider talking about one should really be in jail. But we were told that by the Biden administration that Russia didn't offer us a selection of the two. Well, and that was a lie. That was full of, you know what I'm talking about.
Federation and 2 Americans,
One arm dealer.
Brittney Griner
Okay, I see
and
what
Paul
you did there.
Whelan, would be exchanged for those 2 Russians. And unless and until there is an appropriate Russian who we can swap with him, unfortunately, he will just stay.
I mean, he's white though. It's like gross. Like I don't care about that. Another white guy. He deserves to be in jail. He probably did something. I mean, what are you so afraid of? You know what I mean? I can't even with these people. Let's see here. Okay, let's go back.
In Russian prison.
So how did a basketball star equate to an equal exchange for an arms dealer?
Partially because it was such a high-profile case.
Pickle says nobody knew who Griner was until he put the handcuffs. I did. Okay, I've been following Brittany for a long time. She's 32 years old, out of Houston, Texas. 17.7 points per game. Well, I feel like I have to keep reminding you guys that. Older white male, leave him, down with the patriarch. Thank you, AM. God, it's like finally somebody gets it in my chat. It's like another white man, good. It's like get rid of, like, remember that we were watching that Rutgers professor talking about the other. It's like it's about time. It's like get these white guys out of here. Leave them in prison. Maybe we could start doing that here, like falsely accuse them and just like throw them in there. No one will care. Maybe they would just like trespass on a government property in January, and then we could just keep them in jail forever and not have them to like bring them to court or anything. They can just like stay in there and, rot in the prison. And then when people ask them about those prisoners, we can all pretend like they don't actually exist, including Republicans, including the president at the time. It's like, let's just all forget about those people because Russia is so unfairly treating their prisoners. Not us. We're different. We're good. We're good. Griner performs in... Goodbye, James. LeBron James.
And partially because Brittney Griner's family has been so insistent in getting her out that they were able to do this deal. I fear that Paul Whelan's greatest hope of getting out of Russian prison
is a Republican president.
Was to be a part of the Brittney Griner exchange. And that simply...
How long do you think Griner will take to go on Twitter to constantly bash America? My guess is 1 week. 2 weeks.
Has not been the case.
Is there anyone that could serve as a swap for Paul Whelan?
You know, the funny thing is, like, I didn't even know this guy was in prison in Russia until today. That's how crazy our news cycle is, you know? Come on. I had no idea who this guy was until today. But also, Brittney Griner was in jail for like almost a year, so.
Not immediately.
This guy's been in for 4 years.
Obviously, we will have to see who emerges.
Apparently, allegedly, too, that I'm reading online that he came out as a Trump supporter. So it's like, God, thank God, another one. It's like January 6th all over again. Keep him there. You know what I mean?
Could be considered for a swap for Paul Whelan.
And Kirsten, previously you had the chance to talk with Paul Whelan's family about this situation, and they were frustrated.
Why would you talk to them?
So I talked to them after the Trevor Reed release. They were frustrated then. They're frustrated now. Amazingly, the level of grace and patience this family is exhibiting while they...
What an embarrassment. Just another chip off the memory of what strength we used to have. I know. That's like the most insane part is like how they're treating this as like a complete W. We gave them the angel of death or whatever, like an incredibly huge arms dealer who's notoriously known for starting wars in places like Africa for a WNBA person that nobody knew who the name was until she was locked up. Like, I just can't even know. I mean, can he even dunk? That's a good question. Hopefully. I mean, what are we talking about here? 6'9". If you can't dunk over 6.5 foot, you're not an athlete, period. Don't worry, she'll get hers in a parade. That's it. Oh my God. If there's a Brittney Griner parade, we're live streaming it.
For their loved one behind bars, I think, oh my gosh, hats off to them, because I don't know that my family and I could be that strong as we wait on our loved one. But they're frustrated, understandably so.
Yeah, and we noticed something.
San Francisco's already scheduling the parade. This is me during the whole parade.
In the video, Brittney Griner's appearance has changed.
Yes, yes. Her hair, her dreadlocks.
Oh, we're back to this.
There's such a relationship in the Black community and all communities when it comes to hair. We saw that her.
White people, we do not care about hair. Unless you're Fabio, it's gorgeous, then you're right. Sorry, I take everything I just said 2 seconds ago back.
Dreadlocks are now gone. We don't know if she made that choice or if that was a choice that was imposed.
Yeah, my hair, my choice.
Imposed upon her in a Russian prison. A lot of times we have the conversation in the Black community when you are incarcerated or anything like that. That's probably one of the first things to go. And we don't know for sure if that's what happened with Brittney Griner, that she now.
Wait, this is what we're talking about? That she wasn't allowed to keep her blackness in prison? Like, what? What are we doing right now? I can't even with the news sometimes. She couldn't keep her dress. She's worried about the dress. You're free. God. They always find some way to bitch about stuff. They're just like, they're like, you know, I know like Brittney Griner's free and stuff, but we're not sure if she was able to keep her dreadlocks. And that's like a staple in the Black community, but also in all communities. All communities cherish their hair. And it's important to point that out. Okay? Because I'm worried about the progress in Russian prisons. Like, women of color should be able to have dreadlocks in Russian prison. I'm less worried about being locked up for silly stuff. I'm more worried about dreadlocks, if you can have them or not. This is a huge thing. I don't know if I can go to sleep tonight thinking about this. Privileged people love her coming home. Oh yeah, I know. I'm so sick of them pointing out race. I am too. I'm genuinely like, I'm so bored about talking about other people like races about everything. It's like, God, I don't care. I care about your character. I care a bunch of other things. Horrible trade. Hi everyone. Hey, what's up, Wilson? Those mean Russians took her Jordans to the crime against humanity. Allegedly, they were fake Jordans.
Now does not have those long, beautiful dreadlocks. So we can't wait to see what she says about that.
It's part of our identity.
Shut up. Wait, what?
Beautiful dreadlocks. So we can't wait to see what she says about that.
Oh my God. Question 1. Did you cut your dreadlocks off yourself, or were you forced to do it by a white Russian man? Please tell me right now. Oh my God, I freaking hate her. Our corporate media is such a joke. Like, I just can't with these people.
It's part of our identity, at least the visual identity as a WNBA star who we're used to seeing.
My parents are diehard lefters, and they are even pissed about this. Well, that tells you something about your parents, like that they have like a brain and they have some consistency with the things they think about. So maybe in modern leftist eyes, they would probably consider your parents a right-wing terrorist. Let's keep going.
And who she is, and if those were taken.
I'm mad they left a veteran behind. Biden doesn't care about the veteran community. I mean, we're still like pushing mandatory COVID, coof shots on these people.
As a function of this, it's just another really tragic and sad thing in this.
Is she saying the Black community is obsessed with superficial BS so freaking sad? Well, in the woke community, this is a staple of who they are. It's more than just dreadlocks. Okay, Queen?
Process for her to have to deal with, but it's great to see.
I can hear Colbert saying, so what they did, they freed you in prison. How were the other Black basketball players in Russia prison? Exactly. And that's, it's such a joke. And they're just like, Brittney, were the other Black basketball players allowed to have dreadlocks in prison? I'm really concerned about that right now. And I think it's on the minds of all modern day Americans, if we could be completely honest. And then we have our own Karine Abdul-Jabbar commenting on this because, you can't just stop there. It's part of her identity. Yeah. Just look at my job took away part of my identity because I couldn't have my gauges. Well, there you go. I had gauges at one time in my ears too. Not the biggest, but there you go. It's part of a white punk community. Den's Don. Wait, oh my God.
On a personal note, Brittney is more than an athlete, more
Amen.
than an Olympian.
Amen. She's more than an athlete. Again, 17.7 points per game. In your face, Jordan, you suck.
Is an important role model and inspiration to millions of Americans.
Amen. I want my kids to grow up dreaming of being able to fly with hash oil on the plane. Amen. Let's raise a glass to Brittney Griner as a role model for generations to come. But again, what happened to her dreadlocks? I'm so confused.
Particularly the LGBTQI plus Americans and women of color. She should never have been detained by Russia. On a personal...
Amen. She should never be detained. Yes, there are, thousands of Americans who get detained for the same thing, for traveling with marijuana. But who cares about them? They're not WNBA stars. They're not pulling in 17.7 points per game. Can I get an amen? Somebody give me an amen. This is all I can think about when I hear her say this.
Joe Biden is...
Thank you. Okay, and then we get to this part.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Wait, Kobe Bryant is too quiet on this matter? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm freaking crying, dude. That was like the chat of the night. Oh my God. Kobe Bryant is too quiet on this matter. I'm freaking dying, dude. Somebody dig him up. Oh my God, you're a freaking savage, dude. Man, thank you. She broke their laws. So did that Marine. He went and did a destination wedding in Russia. I mean, that's disgusting. Why would you go there for a destination wedding? I can't wait to hear what LeBron has to say about this. Oh my God, he's rereading the Malcolm X book. But that's only if college is offering free beer, and even that's a stretch. Okay, and then we get to this part. Wait, why is my internet being all junky? Okay, then we get to this part. And then we got this.
President Biden keeps his promises, and today he fulfilled a deeply important promise to bring Brittney Griner home to a family that loves her.
Except for that white Marine. Screw you, bro.
A team that misses her, and a country that has marveled at her strength and courage. Brittney's safe return.
I marveled. I wake up every morning and I'm just like, I cannot believe the strength it must take. And again, did she cut her dreads off or did they force it? I think it's on all our minds as we continue to go down this rabbit hole. LeBron is growing dreads in solidarity for Griner. Oh my God. Yes. Where's my student loan refund, Joe?
Home is the product of months and months of painstaking negotiations that were the culmination of extraordinary efforts across the U.S. government.
Again, this is like huge. I mean, we gave the angel of death. We got back, again, I can't say this enough, 1.8 assists per game. It's a W for all Americans everywhere. Dark Brandon is at it again. Greatest president of our generation, period.
Officials from the White House, the State Department, and across the administration worked
painstaking
relentlessly
negotiations, exactly.
To see this moment through.
Don't you love how intense she is about this whole thing, acting like it's such a huge W that you need to go home tonight and just thank your lucky stars that you get to be a part. You get to be alive during this time to see how awesome a president can actually be. God, you should be so thankful you're a part of this.
The Secretary of State said publicly in July, we have been engaging in intense negotiations with Russia, pursuing many different avenues over the course of last 6 months to secure Brittany's release. And
Is that Anthony Blinken at it again? Probably. She's praying that everybody will applaud her and ask her no serious questions. I swear to God, I swear that that's what she dreams of. She dreams of a day that people walk in and they clap for her and they're just like, we don't have any questions. We just want to hear what you have to say today. It's like a TED Talk every day. You're amazing. Yeah, Joe administration are all historical. Yeah, exactly.
we know Brittany fought tirelessly too. Throughout her ordeal, we saw Brittany, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist for Team USA, demonstrate strength, courage, and dignity. As the president said this morning, she represents the best of America. I had the opportunity.
Petition to make December 8th a national holiday. Ashley. You're killing me. Yes. Yes. Please give her the keys of the United States, not the city, the United States. May Brittany Griner decide whether to allow the January Sexers to ever face trial or just stay in the prison forever. She has that kind of power. I trust her. I trust her with my life. It's just me. Just me being me. Griner needs to be on Rushmore. Thank you. Okay, that is the kind of stuff I want in my chat. More of that positivity.
To speak to Sherelle Griner a couple of hours ago, who is looking forward to seeing Brittany as soon.
Griner represents the best of America. What a disgusting... God. Of course she's going to say that, though, because Brittany Griner is in the protected class. She's black, yes, but she's lesbian. So, if you're not a straight, white, cis male, then you are God's gift to the Mother Ocean. I'm ready for the asteroid. God, send it already. God, give me cancer now. Biden poop solid. That's the sign to trade. Leave Brittany alone. Leave Brittany alone. I'm sorry, you're right.
As she returns home later today.
She'll make the Hall of Fame, no doubt.
Sherelle, who herself has handled Brittany's detention with incredible strength, asked me to communicate once again her sincere gratitude to everyone in the administration and in their own broader support network who made this day possible. She also wanted to reinforce the commitment she and Brittany have made to stand up and speak out for other Americans wrongfully detained abroad. While we're celebrating Brittany's return,
like that one guy, I forget his name.
Also, continue to be in touch with the Whelan family, for whom this news brings mixed emotions.
Amen.
In recent weeks, it became clear that while Russians were willing to reach an agreement to secure Brittany's release, they continue to treat Paul Whelan differently given the nature of the totality. Stop
discriminating against me, Derek. I'm not a straight white male. I'm international waters. Get out of my chat. I don't like... If you're a white male, please exit my chat immediately. Thank you.
Illegitimate charges they have levied against Paul. Unfortunately, the choice became to either bring Brittany home or no one.
Oh, that's the message. Again, the NBC put out a thing saying otherwise. They said the Biden administration was given a choice between the Marine or Brittany Griner, and Biden made the right choice because one is his voting base and one isn't. Amen. Let's hear our powerhouse Kevin McCarthy's take on this whole thing. Final exit chat for 3 cases of SEMA.
All right, I want to get your thoughts on a couple of big stories today. Brittany Griner coming home. Victor Bout is also going home to
Victor
Russia.
Bout, also known as the Merchant of Death.
Yeah, but like, let's not even focus on Victor. Victor, you know what I mean? It's like Victor, every time we talk about Victor, it's a big deal, and he sounds like a guy that should rot in hell. But the guy's a good guy. And equally as good as Brittany Griner. They're basically the same people.
This is a big win for Putin. by far. The merchant of
Oops,
death,
I did it again.
when he was able to be caught, this is a man that went around trying to kill American soldiers. This is a man who sells...
Yeah, but Kevin McCarthy, just a reminder, Trump is still walking around free today. Okay? Deal with him.
Weapons. We're now having a war in Ukraine that Biden is concerned about. Even his own DOD is concerned this man will be back on the field, back selling those weapons, back engaging in what he was doing around the world. Think about the exchange here. The merchant of death for a WNBA star who was picked up for marijuana. What a victory for Putin. But what else it does, it makes every American who is overseas vulnerable. Why? Because they can pick you up on a trumped-up charge to get somebody they want out.
Stop sullying that man's good name. He's probably the only killed really bad people. Yeah, good call.
This is what's wrong. This is a sign of weakness. It goes back to what Secretary of Defense Gates...
Weakness? Are you kidding me? 1.8 assists per game. I keep feeling I have to remind you guys how big of a stat patter Brittney Griner is. Let's keep going.
That every decision that President Biden...
Oh, of course, Fox News is showing pictures with her with dreads. We don't know if she cut off her own dreads or whether she was forced to. Remember, we need to always keep reminding ourselves that. Please put in the chat if you think otherwise. The reeks of WF
Biden has made in his 40 years when it comes to foreign policy has been wrong.
Kaylin says, well, if Russia can get that guy out, what other countries will do to get what they want out of America? Yeah, that's exactly it. Russia flexed and America lost. That's literally what happened before our eyes. And it's amazing how many leftists are calling this a W, but also calling it like talking about how crazy it is for people to even critique this. Critique this whole thing. It's amazing how many people are just like, oh, I can't believe all these right-wingers even care. We'll get to a huge video on that in a second. The amount of dirt the handlers have on Joe Biden must be disgustingly bad. You wonder. You seriously wonder at this point. I mean, you have to be completely not paying attention if you don't know. I mean, this is like a huge L, and they're serving it to you like it's filet mignon. You know what I mean? Russian reports that she is something hanging between... Oh my God. Derek, under no circumstances you go to the Philippines or Thailand, you are valuable. Hey, thanks, Kaylin. I appreciate that. And then here we go.
In this prisoner swap, why did Russia get such a better deal?
Oh, right. Of course, this is coming from you, white male.
Look, I've talked about this.
Oh my God. The real story is how mad Zelensky is for not being in the headline. Yeah. Remember guys, I got Person of the Year on Time Magazine. Okay. Everyone think about how awesome that is for a second. Let's go back.
And I'll say this again.
Make sure to drop a like on this video.
Our choices was Brittney or no one at all.
That's a lie.
American or no American at all.
And
And
they
that's
gave up a professional athlete. We gave up a prolific arms dealer who was convicted of trying to kill Americans, who was called the Merchant of Death.
Yeah, but she is a rock star. Again, we're talking 1.8 assists per game, 17.7 points per game. Okay, she's an icon. Children wake up every morning thinking about Brittany. Jill, we have Megan Rapinoe in our custody. Give us back everybody in Guantanamo Bay. Oh my God, we probably would do that. Seriously. If Megan Rapinoe was taken by like the Taliban or something, we'd probably just give that whole Guantanamo Bay to the Taliban. We'd just be like, okay, that's enough. We've had enough. Okay, that's too far. We love our Megan Rapines. I love how Peter's mere existence annoys the crap out of her. Yeah, me too. I absolutely love it. Peter, that is my dream job, what Peter is doing. I mean, just incredible. Let's all be proud of the green turd. The
professional athlete is also an American citizen.
Ooh.
So let's not forget that. Who deserved
American citizen.
and so and
How did this happen? Why is America so weak now? Why is America so weak now? I can't put my finger on it. I don't know why America's so... I can't figure it out. I don't know. I don't know why America's so weak. Knowers. Hey, thanks for so much for a loaded question. I know. No. You know why we're weak, right? I mean, we're a joke. We mock ourselves. Like, we have a culture of people that hate America. We have a culture of people that think we're a racist society and we should give back our land which we've taken. We took out a person who has openly said that she doesn't like America. I mean, we're a joke. I mean, this is what happens when you have weak men. It's the most disappointing thing ever. That's a good question. I'm going to Google it. Yeah, me too. Those of you who are listening to my podcast via audio, I just showed pictures of Joe Biden behind me. Frankfurt Institute, old school commie infiltration of our society. It certainly seems like it. White guilt is a thing. That kind of like expressing that you don't like your own individuality we saw that with COVID. I mean, it just goes on. Ask Klaus Schwab. Exactly. Too much political correctness over the years. And that's that, Self-censorship is political correctness, Self-censoring yourself of saying, hey, what I said is, well, it's offensive to, I don't know, I've never met this person, but I feel like I need to censor myself because it's important to show that I'm in unity with everyone around me rather than just being a good person. You can no longer make jokes anymore because jokes aren't funny. You hear me? Jokes are not funny. They mean everything that they say. Too much soy in the male diet? Well, there's that. Some of us are lactose intolerant. I choose to drink oat milk. Let's continue down with white supremacist Peter Doocy.
And I've explained how the Russians have illegally totally illegitimately treated his situation. I've been very clear on that. We've laid that out for you.
Yes.
And again, the president felt that this was an opportunity to bring Brittany home.
Yes, and we would give up an arms dealer over and over again for it. In fact, if we had Hitler in prison, we would give up Hitler. Because Brittany is a star and a role model for all. Mika, what's up? And again, I can't say this enough. Brittany Griner, 17 points per game, 1.8 assists per game. She's a star. You need to be celebrating this moment. I don't care what you think is true. This is what's true. Don't ask questions. Just say, wow, thank you, Biden. You did it. You are a god in my eyes. You're a man. You have balls. I've seen them. I have a framed picture of Derek that I got from the front of the Lucky Charms box. Okay, you son of a... You know what? Okay, enough of the ginger jokes. Go take a walk. Go take a lap. Take a lap, please. Let's let her finish our supreme second in command, Karine Jean-Pierre. I'm hoping she becomes the vice president next go around. I'm just praying for it.
Is going to continue to do everything he can to bring Paul Whelan home, just like he did with Trevor Reed, just like he was able to secure Trevor Reed's release.
It's like, why even ask these questions to these people? It's just an arms dealer. You need to be celebrating this moment. And again, let's go to our supreme overlords. I've heard that there was... I've heard it was her or no one, and the Biden needed a win, no matter what the consequences of a literal warlord. I heard it was her or the Marine, and then NBC walked it back, much like they did the Paul Pelosi story. So I'm not sure what's true. I'm not sure if they walked it back because they realized it was wrong. I don't know. It just seems like really fishy, the fact that, well, we cared so much about her when we have a guy who's been in prison longer for completely fabricated crap. And when people are like, who cares about this person? You know what I mean? I'm just so confused because I'm always confused. How are you going to trade away a shooter for a big? The GM needs to be fired. We're a laughing stock of the league. Yeah, God, we are. I mean, why would you not laugh at America at this moment? Every time Biden talks, I'm like, even I laugh at him. You know, I don't look at him with like, wow, what a great leader. What a great speaker. The bar is so low now. It's ridiculous. So there's that. And then we go back to our supreme overlords at CNN. Let's hear their take, because I think it's important to know their take.
I think I would be remiss if we did not mention also the importance this plays for the LGBTQ community. Yes, as we've been talking about black women, this is big. So this is for the LGBTQ community. GLAAD releasing a statement, obviously, just I'm summarizing here that they're happy, and that shows the struggles and the danger that members of the LGBT community face around the world. But when you look at what is happening with the LGBT community specifically here in the United States,
spit in the face of the military and expect them to defend with their lives. Come on, man. How dare you say that? How dare you? The military loves Biden. Remember? Remember when Kamala Harris was doing that Veterans Day speech and no one clapped? That was still one of my favorite clips. Here we go.
What does this say? Does this bring attention to that? And it shows us, hey, look, we're all Americans.
Brittney Griner represents everything in this country.
Right. She represents me. She represents you. Amen.
She's female, she's LGBTQ, she's black, and she's extraordinary.
Again, extraordinary. 1.8 assists per game, 17 points per game. Praise God for that. Let's all raise a toast to the most important person in America. When I think America, I think Brittney Griner. And if you don't, get out of my chat. You know what I mean? You're disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. She's an icon. She is Whitney Houston. She is every woman. It's all you need.
She's excellent. She's overcome. She's an icon. She's done everything you can do in her sport and more, and yet she still wasn't safe. She was snatched off of a plane and treated like trash.
Exactly. And if you were to do the same thing in Russia, no one would care. She's an icon. You are trash. You're just a little person. Are you even verified on Twitter? Did you pay the $8? It's hard to even know these days. It's hard to distinguish who's great and who is just, I don't know, a normie. Ugh. I put a picture of Griner on top of my Christmas tree. Thank you for saying that, Ashley. God. I think I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take down my star, take down my angel on top of the tree. I'm going to put a picture of Brittney Griner. Thank you for saying that. God, see, we help each other become better human beings. Another push to place a fringe people above everyone 10%. You know it. She's a lock for Woman of the Year 2023. No, that better go to, I don't know, Leah Thomas or somebody great like that. I mean, she's not that great. Let's just be honest. She can't be that good unless something happens.
And we didn't let it stand. Americans came together. And I think that Biden and Kamala Harris, this is one of the things that they're going to be, I think, the most proud of. I think Americans can stand together.
Oh, my God. This is the one thing they're going to be the most proud of. Oh, my God. If that doesn't tell you literally everything about the state of our country, I literally don't know what. This is what they are going to be the most proud of. Keep talking, Van Jones. You're speaking facts, sir. I think I'd be more angry if in my faith in the future if didn't die. Oh wait, my faith in the future didn't die. Oh, me too. The most proud
on this one. But where we say that right now, when she comes off that plane, when she walks off that plane.
Again, we will ask her, did you cut off your dreads or did they force you to do it? Remember? And that
when her wife hugs her, when that moment happens, that is going to be decade defining. People will remember that, and it should show us what we can do when we stand together. It can show us what we can do when we don't give up on people.
I can't even joke about that. Oh. When she gets off the plane, I might cry. I might lose my mind. I might not even know how to handle myself in the moment. I would be crying My family will need to gather around me, hug me, make sure everything is okay, because that moment's going to stick with me forever. Wow, chicken is 13% cheap. Oh my God. God, Joe has accomplished it now. They look for the littlest things to brag about. Well, of course. Why wouldn't you? I mean, our economy's trash. People have no confidence within Joe Biden. The housing market's terrible. How we are on the global stage is a joke. I mean, the list goes. Every time our vice president talks, it's literally an episode of Veep. Like, how such a tactical error literally costs innocent lives. Yeah, well, probably will. I mean, that guy is not going to stop. But as I say, never interrupt your enemies when they make a mistake, but at what cost exactly? Are you going to be live for the big event, Derek? I better be. Hey, God. We'll make it a momentous occasion. If I'm able to go live for that, I mean, shouldn't it be happening soon? I don't know. I'm going to look it up, see if there is like, please look online and see if there's like a live stream event of Griner landing. Like, please tell me there's like, like a CNN. Shut up. Wait, what is this? What is this? Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't even. I can't. I gotta go. Oh my God. I don't have any hope in America anymore. I just don't. I'm just done. I'm just done. Oh my God. That literally broke my brain. I mean, I'm just... no bans. That is racist. What? I mean... Did we miss the actual footage? I mean, what is this? I just want to go back a little bit. I mean, this is... It's unbelievable. Somebody laughs after the compilation. Okay, good. I mean, what the freak is going on in life? Okay, don't worry. We will be checking on this throughout the stream. And now we get to my favorite part. All right? My favorite part. The moment resurrected my faith in humanity, only to could be more brutally murder my faith once again. It's so impressive. It's just so good. When I was typing that in, like, live Brittney Griner expectation landing, like, live stream, I was like, please God, let that not be a thing. Why? Again, we're checking on it right now. Why is that still a thing? But now we get to my favorite part, what some of you guys hate, but I absolutely love and adore, is we get to the Young Turks talking about it. And now the Young Turks are very angry that conservatives, as they said, pathetic conservatives, cry about Brittney Griner's release from Russia. Because when you got a grift, well, you got the grift, bruh. And here we go.
Griner released, but she was traded for the merchant of death, Victor Boot, the guy who they did the film Lord of War, where he, sold like 30,000 AKs to guerrilla drug dealers who were killing DEA agents. So we traded him for her, and this guy was responsible for countless deaths of Americans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do I have a feeling if President Trump were in office, it would have been handled so much better?
Oh, you would say that.
Because you're stupid. That's why you have that feeling.
God, that's so ridiculous. Oh my God. You can't. God, okay. Just strap in, guys. All right. Strap in. I'm hoping this is like triggering to the 10th degree. I hope they lose their minds because it's absolutely ridiculous. Again, we've been talking this all night. We traded a guy that has literally started wars in countries and murdered people for a WNBA, I mean, is she a star? If 17 points per game and 1.8 assists makes you a star, that's why I don't watch the game. But here we go. Strap in, folks. I'm hoping to laugh and cry laughing. Again, I think Young Turks is better than SNL. Better. They're so funny. That's not live footage, and Anna was talking to herself in the mirror, accidentally filmed it.
Feeling. Now, of course, Waylon could have been negotiated for release by Donald Trump because he was imprisoned under Donald Trump's watch and he did nothing about it.
That's fair.
So let's move off the Donald Trump talk.
That's not live footage. Anna,
Point for a moment and hear what else Carrie Lake has to say.
Oh, and they hate Carrie Lake.
It's a bad trade. I think most Americans, like we said, most Americans are happy that Brittney Griner is home, obviously, and just think that, hey, you know what? That's a bad trade, and we made a trade from a position of weakness, not of strength. So I think that's how most people line up.
If I were, being held the conditions looked horrible, by the way. I mean, she's so big and tall, and she's in literally, they look like they keep the prisoners in a cage.
Yeah.
And so the conditions were obviously horrible. But if you told me we're going to release you for this guy, I would maybe say, you know what? Let me stay a little bit longer. Keep working on that negotiation. Let's see if we can find something a little bit more level.
Does anyone really believe that? Does anyone really think that if Carrie Lake...
She makes Megan Rapinoe look like Pele.
were a prisoner in Russia and there were an opportunity for her to be released in exchange for the Merchant of Death, she'd be like, you know what? No, I'm good. In fact, I will remain in prison until you can get a better deal.
I'm actually quite happy that Griner was released. Me and my family are huge Griner fans. I caught every single game she ever played for the LA Flapjacks.
Does anyone believe that?
Yeah, 0% of people. Instead, she'd be like, oh my God, I'm a political prisoner because of Biden. He won't have me released. He should trade the entire country for me. Okay, come on. These are all entitled little pricks, these Republicans. And they're so selfish, so obsessed with themselves, don't ever realize that there's a problem until it happens to them. I mean, look at what she just said. It looks like we're keeping her in a cage. Yeah, that's kind of how prisons work. Like, you don't, she's like, I don't know, I've never been in prison, so I don't, what is a prison like? They have no empathy for any other human being ever.
God, I love him so much. He is so ridiculous. I mean, I feel like I would walk up to him as a human being, just like, you're a bit of a joke, right? Like, no one takes you seriously. And if people actually take you seriously, I worry about those people because I don't know what to say when I'm around you. People everywhere are getting Griner tattoos over their Fauci tattoos. She's a political prisoner. She literally smuggled drugs into Russia. She's an arms drug dealer.
And let's keep it real, guys. A lot of our members have been writing this in already, but like and I read it to you guys during the break. She's black, she's gay, she's strong, she's everything that the Republicans hate. So they're like, oh my God, that's all we got. There was a white male in prison in Russia we could have gotten instead.
Exactly. Who cares about that guy? I mean, let's not even mention his name. God, white people suck. I gave Jake a hug, but I have way too much diggity check marks.
So that's a part of it. I think it's actually a relatively small part of it, but it is a part of it because they have no empathy for her.
Well, I mean, I think
yeah, and why? God, I love it. Like this is like such a dumb take by the Young Turks, which is typical, but they're literally just focusing on her. They're not even mentioning the swap deal, the swap part of the whole deal, of course, because if you think about it, it looks like crap. But it's important to know that like this is what the left media does, is they'll just like take one narrative, like one idea, stretch it to create an entire narrative for the whole thing. And they'll just be like, oh, Republicans don't even care about a black lesbian WNBA star. Instead of like thinking in context. What's that? Never heard of it. Me neither. Oh, she played for Phoenix. My mistake. I love the Phoenix. Did she play for Phoenix? I have no idea. I literally pulled up her stats and I didn't even care to look. I guess it's a really big win for them. They can't even think of anything to get more excited about. I guess not either.
I think it's baked into, the judgment is baked into what Kari Lake was saying there, because she's essentially judging Brittney Griner for, I don't know, I guess, allowing herself to be released through this prisoner exchange agreement, right? Like, because that's what Kari Lake is saying. If it were me, I would want what's best for the globe, for the world. And I would not want the merchants of death to be released. So I would stay in a penal colony in Russia to get a better deal. No, I don't believe it for a second. I don't think anyone actually believes it for a second.
Well, the voters of Arizona said that they prefer the other candidate and voted her in. And you said,
that she's
I don't
a victim.
care what's good for Arizona. I care what's good for me.
100%.
Okay, I don't like that I lost the election, so I'm going to pretend it's illegitimate and cry
Kari Lake wasn't baked into anything. It was Griner who was baked.
about it for weeks and weeks.
I see what you did there.
I don't know any Republican that isn't massively selfish. I mean, there's a lot of ones.
Okay, I can't even watch this anymore. It's just too much. I won't put you guys through the whole thing. It's just too much. But let us finish with this, and for this story. Brittney Griner, 17 points, 1.8 assists, 56% field goal range. 3-point range, 35.3%. That's 35.3%. Incredible. She went to college in Baylor. Plays for the Phoenix Mercury. We got one home, boys. We got one home. Dark Brandon at it again. That's all I have to say. I'm done talking about her. It's just so much, you can only freak out for so long, because of course they let her go. Of course they went after her to save her over they would do it again and again. I don't care if it's you in prison. I don't care who it is. She fit the profile. I mean, there's a reason why our media was like so obsessed talking about her constantly. It's just so much. What's her plus minus? I don't even know. Okay. Now, the Phoenix Mercury, what a name. I know. Now we'll get into some of the Twitter files, because the Twitter files are big. But again, I'm not going to hammer on this for too long, 'cause it's been talked about a million times, but I know a lot of you guys tell me that you only watch me as a podcast, which is so humbling, and I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me, so I feel like I need to talk about it. I'm waiting for the official holiday to return from MLK. But Elon Musk put out a tweet just now saying Twitter is working on software update that will show your true account status. So you know clearly if you've been shadow banned. Oops. Been shadow banned, the reason why and how to appeal, which is incredible. And I'm not saying that I've been shadow banned, but I've been consistently at the same number until Elon Musk got in. Now we get to the portion of Barry Weiss confirming everything that kind of been going on with the whole Twitter file thing, which is, it's been so annoying to just read through all the Twitter file stuff, but let's go through some of them together. I can't wait for Brittany's take on Twitter files. Me too. And if she cut off her own hair or not. A new Twitter files investigation reveals that the teams of Twitter employees build blacklists, prevent disfavored tweets, of course, from trending, and actively limit the visibility for entire accounts or even trending topics, all in secret without informing users. Again, I feel like I don't really need to talk about this because a lot of us already know this kind of stuff and already feel this way. But I just want to remind you, I've literally been in arguments with people saying that shadow banning is a right-wing conspiracy. I have lots of times, and it's a private company. Who cares? I've been through this conversation acting like it's not a big deal. But this is why Elon buying Twitter is so freaking important because it is our modern town square. You and I are connected right now via the internet, not person to person, mano a mano. So that's why it's a big deal. 2, Twitter had a mission once to give everyone the power to create and share ideas, blah, blah, blah. Take, for example, Stanford's Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, who argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children, which came out to be true. Because you can't lock people in and make them afraid of the other while putting a mask on them without any kind of effect, especially in the brain, emotionally. And children are highly affected by that because they're children. They're not adults. They don't think as logically as you and me because their frontal cortex isn't fully developed yet. As we continue. Trends blacklist that prevent the tweets from trending. So Twitter employees picked out certain accounts and they actually clicked blacklist this person. We live in a democracy. Wink. And then we continue. Number 4, or consider the popular right-wing talk show host Dan Bongino, love him or like him, at one point was slapped with a search blacklist. Again, people constantly told these people that they were right-wing conspiracy theorists by saying, oh, you can't find yourself in the search function? Okay, you. This is just a right-wing conspiracy. It's just your tweets suck. That's all it is. So many kids offered themselves during lockdowns? Yes. Suicide went up like crazy. It still is incredibly high because we have an entire generation of children who haven't built social skills between each other and emotional skills, and they've been hindered academically and just the typical growing patterns you see in children because of the way we handled the pandemic. But no one wants to care about it. Who cares? Just make sure they vote blue. You know what I mean? Next, Twitter then set the account of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, oh my God, sick, to do not amplify, which is crazy. Don't you love these little like notifications? Notification spike, search blacklist, and then they have like these things that you can just like click to undo. Do not amplify. I'm sure that the lockdowns would have messed me up. Yeah, me too. As a kid, those lockdowns would have screwed me up. They would have screwed you up. Like, you think that you would have handled it differently because you're an adult now. You're not a child. So, especially, I see it today. I see it today with children who are still afraid of meeting new people, still afraid of communicating with adults, still afraid. I still see kids walking around with masks on today. And they're not required to wear it because they feel safe with it on. And we have parents that clap this kind of crazy, like pushing, allowing them to do it too, instead of challenging some irrational beliefs about what the masks, what the social anxiety that comes with wearing them and taking it off and being able to see, like, people to see you and stuff like that. We have an entire generation, and these kids are going to continue to grow up. They're going to need help. A lot of help. Hell, my adult friend in California were afraid to see me because I was gassed unvaccinated. Well, good, because you're disgusting. But yeah, I have family members that were like, I don't know if I can be in the same room with you. I'm okay with you being unvaccinated, but will you put a mask on before like we hang out? Because like, I'm like, I'm not sick. Yeah, I know, but I totally support you for, choosing your right to take it or not. But like, just put a mask on for my safety. Thanks. It became forced security blanket for the kids, and that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And we have parents who and still today are encouraging this behavior instead of challenging it. We have an entire generation of kids who are struggling to challenge their thought processes or what they believe to be true or their identity and stuff like that. We have an entire generation of kids who are encouraged not to challenge these ideas, but lean into them and believe them with all your heart, soul, and mind. These kids are going to grow up so messed up, and it's the adults' fault. It's the adults' fault for not speaking up. It's the teacher's fault for not pressing in. It just makes me sad as somebody who works with people like this. So, job security for people in mental health, which is not necessarily a good thing, but like it's just sad. Purebloods are going to be valuable soon. Thank you. I am. Papa, I'm in SoCal. You and me, brother. Okay. Here we go. 6. Twitter denied that it would do such things in 2018, which we all saw. They all argue saying, hey, we don't censor people. We don't shadow ban people. We don't down-regulate people. And that was a lie. It's just like Joe Biden. Hey, he never lies. He'll get ice cream with you. Twitter's Vijay Gotti. I purposely get that name wrong, by the way. Kayvon Cooper, head of product, said, we do not shadow ban. They added, we certainly don't shadow ban because on political viewpoints or we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideology. Wink, sure. But we'll go after Charlie Kirk and Dan Bongino. No affiliation whatsoever. 7. What many people call shadow banning, Twitter executives and employees call visibly filtering. Don't you love when they take a language or they take a word and redefine it or rephrase it so that you feel better about it all? Next, multiple people, high-level sources covering its meaning. 8. Think about the visibility filter as being a way for us to suppress what people see to different levels. It's a very powerful tool, one senior Twitter employee told us. Yes, because when you're godlike, you can control speech and censoring stories like Hunter Biden, which was Russian disinformation. Don't ever forget that. I haven't seen my favorite former cousin in 3 years, still because I'm pure blood. She can't handle that's sad. That kind of stuff is like still sad to me, that people are still like that. I don't get it. That's when you know it's a religion. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're not Christian? I can't hang out with you because you're going to engage in sinful behavior. It's like that same kind of like ideology, just like that same kind of like thought process. It's crazy. My entire friend group was excited for me to come out for a week. When they remembered I was unjabbed, a weekend-long hangout devolved into a Sunday lunch. Okay, that's... I'll be your friend, Papa. Okay, as we continue. VF refers to Twitter's control over visibility. If used, VF to block searches of individuals to limit the scope of particular tweets' discoverability, to block select users' posts from ever appearing on the trending page, and from inclusion in hashtag searches. Hey, we're not censoring. Well, we're just choosing what we want people to see. It's different. We're not a publisher. 10, without users' knowledge, which is like the most like annoying thing. Again, okay, perfect example. My last live stream on YouTube was taken down. I woke up this morning with it saying, you violated community guidelines. I appealed it and I said, what did I violate? It would be important for me as a content creator to know what I violated. Because maybe if I cared, I would be able to like not do that again. But they just took down the video. They didn't say anything. They didn't say why. They didn't give me a strike. They just took down the video. And then I was like so confused. This is the first time since I've been on YouTube for a while that they've just taken down my video and not said anything to me. And again, I don't care. I think it's annoying, but I just don't understand why my video was taken down. What did I violate? And so it's the same thing with Twitter. You're like, oh, well, you violated it. You violated our terms. Okay, what did I violate? Well, I don't need to go into that. Well, then how am I going to learn? Or how can I appeal it? Or how can I tell you you're wrong? It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. You're not the one in power here. Just sit down, shut up. You're cis white, ginger male. God, I hate you. You're disgusting. Next, 11. We control visibility quite a bit, and we control the amplification of your content quite a bit. Oh, really? That's so interesting. And normal people do not know how much we do, of course. One Twitter engineer told us. 2 additional Twitter employees confirmed, which we all thought was true. And again, so many people thought that people with this idea of like, I keep tweeting, no one responds to me, I have all these followers, and no one is liking anything I send, retweeting, engaging with me at all. Why would you be on the platform if you never engage with anyone? It just never makes any sense. Derek, if the overlords tell you how you screwed up, then you'll never learn what you did wrong. That's true. So I'll always be wondering, YouTube, what did I do? I'll make it right. What do you want me to do? I'll take my shirt off. I don't care. YouTube teaches you through punishment not to say the wrong thing. Yeah, of course. Well, that's my entire show. Say the wrong thing. All right. Then we continue. 12. The group that decided whether to limit the reach of certain users was the Strategic Response Team. America's Strategic Response Team. Global Escalation Team, or CERT-GET. It often handled up to 200 cases a day. You know what's it's going to be the most depressing thing? Is if you think that you're shadow banned and Elon Musk puts out this information and it turns out you were never shadow banned. You just be like, oh, so I did suck. Okay, God, I hate myself. Don't take off your shirt, Derek. Those lights in your room seem bright. You're guaranteed to burn if they don't. God. You trust me. You want to see these nipples. All right, as we continue. Where were we at? 13. But there existed a level beyond official ticketing, beyond the rank of file. Moderations follow the company's policy on paper. That is, site integrity policy. Yeah, integrity. Integrity is a fun word to use if you don't know what it means. Right, Twitter? Policy escalation support, known as CPIS. The secret cabal, included head of legal, policy, and trust, Vijaya Gadde. The global head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, who's totally off him. Subsequent CEOs, Jack Dorsey. Oh, so Jack Dorsey knew. And Parag. Thank God. Now we know what those thousands of employees were doing all day. Yeah, well, there you go. Great point. You know, it's no wonder, Elon took them all down because they weren't really doing anything important besides, well, it must take a lot of employees to censor that many people. Going after Charlie Kirk and Dan Bongino, that's who you deem as dangerous? That's when you know you're weak. They're the dangerous ones? Okay, as we continue. 15. This is where the biggest, most politically sensitive decisions got made. Think high follower count, controversial. Another Twitter employee told us, for these, there would be no ticket or anything. Well, yeah, because you're just like, if everyone believes all the same thing in San Francisco, you just trust the individual. Why? Because they all read the same Bible as you. Next, 16. One of the accounts that rose to this level of scrutiny was Lives at TikTok, which the fact that that account triggers so many leftists is so funny to me because she literally just reposts things that they post. And that's dangerous? Then don't post. How dare you be that kind of logical? Slap myself silly. Next. Lives at TikTok, an account that was on the Trends blacklist. Oh, a Trends blacklist. So anytime she was ever trending, they decided, well, no matter what you do, you could have 1 million likes and we won't trend you. And was designated as do not take action on user without consulting with CPIS. Why? Because she was already blacklisted here, already not allowed to have notification spike, recent abuse strike. Do not take actions on user without consulting. Because everyone in the company, I'm sure, wanted to click that button immediately every time she was allowed back on. Meanwhile, Keith Olbermann can call for a violent revolution, but to be fair, nobody would really listen to if he was amplified. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, of course, you got actual terrorists on Twitter, and they're like, no biggie. Or you have actual child porn on Twitter, and it's like, yeah, but did you see Charlie Kirk say that we should all vote for Trump? That's dangerous. Think about it. Libs of TikTok is so dangerous. Don't tell us what she said. We'll tell you what we said. Exactly. 17. The account which Chaya Rajik began on November 2020 is now boasts 1.4 million followers. Was subjected to 6 suspensions in 2022 alone, Rajik says. Each time, Rajik was blocked from posting for as long as a week. I'm sure I'm getting that name wrong. I don't care. Lefty's logic never holds crazy responsible. Only the people pointing out the crazy and the bad guy. Well, yeah, when you're a part of a revolution, a cult, these people are good as long as they're acting on your side. They can be as crazy as they want. They can be as violent as they want, as long as they think right. Amen. 18. Twitter repeatedly informed Ryek. I don't know. I'm so bad with names. I'm so bad. I can't even. As she has been suspended for violating Twitter's policy against hateful conduct. That's like me on Twitter. Hey, you violated our terms of service. Oh yeah, what did I violate? I don't know. You did. You know what you did. 19. But in an internal CIPIS memo on October 22, after 7th suspension, the committee acknowledged that LTT, Libs at TikTok, has not directly engaged in behavior violating of the hateful conduct. Oh, right. Because you literally just repost what they post. Hey, that's hateful. Hey, you're putting people's lives in jeopardy. Like, if you took one of my videos and just reposted it, and then I was like, hey, please don't post that. You're putting my life in danger. You would probably respond like, Derek, well, maybe stop your podcast. I don't know, call me crazy. You are crazy. Twitter is no longer a liberal safe space, and that is triggering to me. It finally turned into what was always what it should have been. I'm excited to see what Elon can do with the platform. I wish Elon was like true freedom of speech, like that thing that he got rid of Kanye for. I'm like, okay, that's childish, but at least he came out and said it. Whereas like before, people would get taken down or they would get censored, and people would just be like, I don't know what I did. What am I doing? Oh, plus, did everyone listen to Kanye's new song? It's a banger. And I know everyone on the left is like, doesn't know how to handle themselves at the moment when it comes to that song. They're like, this song's awesome, but it's Kanye. Maybe he's racist. 21. Compare this to what happened to Rajik herself. Was doxxed on November 21st, 2022. A photo of her home and her address was posted in a tweet that generated more than 10,000 likes and was doxxed by none other than Taylor Lorenz, who is a journalist. 12. Because what's more important? Getting down to, corporate greed or politicians lying to you. We need to know who is behind this anonymous account who's reposting people. God, who is it? Probably a white male. Oh, it's not? Oh, crap. Elon is a businessman. He's not a champion for free speech. By doing what he's doing, he's regaining the trust of a massive group that has been marginalized for the last decade. Yeah, 100%. The fact that you will be able to see that you're shadow banned is why it's huge. Yes. Knowing whether you're shadow banned or not is like... I mean, that will make people less anxious. That will make people trust the platform. That will make people feel more at ease. The more you can openly express yourself, the more you can know what's going on in the world, the less crazy you'll feel, because it's like constantly. I always talk about this. It's like lying to a child over and over again. You're like, hey, this is an apple, and you're like, that's not an apple, it's an orange. You're like, actually, I'm pretty sure that's an apple. My teacher says it's an apple. I'm like, it's an orange. Shut up and just deal with it. And so you start to feel kind of crazy. And so that's what's putting people at ease. The more we can just relax and have open dialogue and and be able to express different ideas, and for us to be able to like know if we're shadow banned and stuff like that, or know the truth or know the facts, that's when people will start to relax a little bit and actually just be human and be decent. But we have this like crazy thing. Trigger should be called Goosed. Yeah, that's probably true. Mr. Free Ride, what's up? By doing this, he's planning on Twitter becoming a profitable business. Well, yeah. Well, making people pay $8 to be blue check marked, I mean, that's an easy W. There's so many people who use Twitter all the time and that weren't allowed to be part of the secret cool kids club, who you could just go on Google and actually buy some of these blue check marks, which people never knew. I didn't even know, because like, why did I care? I didn't care. But like, now everyone could be in the cool kids club. Everyone can have a voice. Everyone can be open and honest and dialogue. And it's just like more, it's just gonna be good. Except when you call it Apple, you're being fat phobic. Thank you for saying that. 2022, when Ryjek told Twitter that her address had been disseminated, she says Twitter support responded with this message: "We reviewed the reported content and didn't find it involved the Twitter violation of Twitter rules. No action was taken. The doxing tweet is still up." That is insane. Like, they think that like libs of TikTok is putting people's lives in jeopardy by just reposting. Allowing a tweet like that to stay up when the user doesn't want it up, or if it's about somebody else's, that is putting someone's life in jeopardy. And they don't give a flying... Like, they don't care. They don't, and I say this all the time, they don't care if you die, as long as they are proved right and they stay in power. It's always, everything's a power struggle with them. Everything's a power struggle. That's why they talk about power constantly, because they're so fixated on dominating. Because domination means they can be free and put you in your own metaphorical cage. Love or hate Elon, he's the only person in upper class doing anything. That's a perfect example. There are tons of quote-unquote conservative rich people who don't do anything or don't engage in culture like this. They don't engage in any culture. They're just like, okay, I'll donate to Mitch McConnell. Sure. I'll donate to Trump. Sure. But they're not engaging in culture like Elon is. Elon is like literally putting himself on the line for saying, you know what? I care about your freedom of speech so much. I care about the environment so much. I'm willing to like do Tesla. I care about space so much. It's like he's putting his money where his mouth is. You don't see a lot of people like that, and it's just refreshing. Tell that to Taylor Lorenz, Derek. She's got so many mean emails because of her doxing. Yeah, I'm sure. Because she deserves it, though. I mean, you dox a citizen over reposting stuff. You deserve some mean emails. And I'm sure those emails are far and few between. And they're not actual threats. They're probably just like some 13-year-old idiot. I get tons of stuff. I don't give them. I don't care. I like what. I carry everywhere I go. So there's that. Catch me outside. How about that? I agree, Papa. He's muddy. He's a muddy knight. The brain chip is off-putting to me. Brain chip's off-putting. It's a little weird. And the fact that he's concerned about AI, but then yet puts forth AI. I don't know if you guys have been messing with Chat GDP yet. That thing's freaking nuts. If you're in high school, if you're in middle school, if you're in college, you don't have to write a paper ever again. Ever. You don't have to, ever. It's so unfair. It makes me angry. What people say online carries way too much weight to some people. Thank you. Yes, Willie. That is a fantastic point. Way too many people care about what people say. They're just like, because it's written, people are like, treat it the same way as like reading a book. They're like, oh, we need to dissect this. When 90% of my tweets are just jokes, or like on my TikToks, like I get constantly banned on TikTok like weekly they'll give me like a 7-day ban and stuff. And they won't tell me why. So what I've been doing in my description is starting out TikTok. This is a joke. Because they have taken down my content constantly for disingenuous content. Like, yes, that's what a joke is. God, I get that you're Chinese and you're just like, we don't have a lot of Chinese comedians. We don't know what that is yet. But like, this is ridiculous. Next, 23. The internal Slack messages. Twitter employees spoke of using technicalities. Hey, we're just using technicalities to restrict the visibility of tweets and subjects. Here's Yoel Ross' Twitter on global head of trust and safety, a direct message to a colleague early in 2021. She says, let me get this up. A lot of times, SI has used technically spam enforcement as a way to solve a problem created by safety under enforcing their policies, which again isn't a problem per se, but it keeps us from addressing the root cause of the issue, which is safety policies need attention. God, I love that adults talking about safety. Like, you're just like, are you an adult? In their twisted mind, your joke is a microaggression. It hurts their feelings. That's so true. Of course it is. I'm microaggressioning against Joe Biden daily. Okay. Next. 24. 6 days later, in a direct message with an employee of the Health and Misinformation Privacy and Identity Research Team, Roth requested more research to support expanding non-removal policy interventions like disabling engagements and de-amplification/visibility filtering, aka shadow banning. Next, 25. Roth wrote, the hypothesis underlying much of what we've implemented is that if exposure to e.g. misinformation directly causes harm. Misinformation directly causes harm? And define harm. No thanks. We should use remedies that reduce exposure. Shadow banning. Again, shadow banning is just a right-wing conspiracy. Oh crap, it's right there in front of me. I'll take a bullet for safety. TV Funhouse. Hopefully the cult will eat their own eventually. Yes, they will eventually eat themselves. You can never be woke enough. You can never censor yourself enough. You're creating an appetite of children of hunger that they can never be satisfied. They're going to continue to want more. 26 added, we got Jack on board with implementing this civic integrity in the near term, but we're going to need to make a more robust case to get this to our repertoire of policy remedies, especially for other public domains. Oh, God. Jokes could be misinformation. Yeah. They are misinformation. 28. Authors have brought, it's like the Babylon Bee, you know, that's all misinformation because they're jokes. That's why they're fun. Well, I guess not all of them. Hold up, jokes were disinformation. Your jokes are like licks and stones, are like sticks and stones, licks that break my bones. Exactly. Well, that's true. We found out last week that, you know, words actually do harm people, hurt people freely. Did you hear NBC News is going to have their kid news program that makes my top 10 ways to destroy kids? Oh God. NBC News is going to have their kids news program. I remember growing up in my school, we had a kids news program. Channel 1 News. Did you guys have Channel 1 News? And that was all propaganda. I mean, that was all it is. And my teacher would always force us to watch it. And it was always about like climate change. You know, it was all that crap. Haven't you seen the video where I forgot who said the words can literally injure? Yeah. Yeah. We did it on this show, Ashley. You should check it out. Jokes are taken seriously, and it's hilarious to be hateful. Welcome to the left. Yeah. But that's like if learn to laugh at yourself. Like when I was a teacher, when I worked with middle schoolers, I would constantly tell them the best thing you can do in middle school, because middle school is hell on earth, is to learn to laugh at yourself and not take yourself so seriously, because people are going to say mean things to you. People are going to say insane things to you. And if you can learn to laugh at it and then respond in a comedic fashion, you're going to go so much farther in life. Oh, never mind. Derek said what I was trying to say. Okay, sorry. And then we go on to 25. The authors have broad and expanding access to Twitter files. The only condition we agreed to was the material would first be published on Twitter. 29. We're getting started with our reporting. Documents can't tell the whole story here. A big thank you to everyone, blah, blah, blah. And Luke Rukowski writes, the game is rigged. Yes. Yes. It just constantly confirms what everyone already believes about everything that's going on. Nothing's new under the sun, you know?
Everybody else.
That's all I have to say about that. But it's insane. Of course it's insane. But everyone already thought this stuff. I think the biggest thing that came from that whole story is that Elon saying that he's going to let people know if they were shadow banned. I think that's very important for people's mental states and just for transparency. Because it's just like it's like YouTube's rules. They said I violated their rules. Well, if you would be more specific with your rules, people would understand whether they should even be on your platform. But you stay vague enough so people stay on your platform, build a community, and then you have the power to take it away or not. And it's just it's depressing. That's just another reminder for you guys. If you like my show, be sure to subscribe to me on Rumble, because there will be a day that I'm off of YouTube. It's only a matter of time. Silence is violence. Fun fact, middle school was invented by Satan in an April Fool's joke. Dude, 100%. Dude, middle school was the worst for me ever. I was constantly bullied. I was constantly beat up, and it was like hell on earth. It was literally trauma in a nutshell. It was just the worst. Another conspiracy theory. Yeah, another conspiracy confirmed. And that it's amazing, the people I had conversations about saying that I was full of crap, how they will now just cower. They will pretend like they never had that conversation with me. They will pretend like I'm right wing. They'll go, well, right wing people are still crazy. Who's even saying right wing at this point? It's just anybody that challenges the narrative. It's not the rules to tell you what the rules you violated. It's not in the rules to tell you what the rules you violated. So therefore, you don't have to know what rules you broke. Only that you broke the rules. It's an ultimate loophole. I got it. It really is. When I woke up this morning and I read that, I was like, this is literally why people are part of the fringe. You constantly make people feel like they're crazy or feel like they're other than, and you don't tell them what they did wrong. You just say, hey, the Young Turks can literally call Tim Pool a pedophile for wearing a beanie. But what you said there, that's a problem. And you're like, what did I say? We don't need to go into it. But you know what you did. You know what you did. It's disgusting. Speaking of knowing what I did, I love the fact that our own press secretary is slowly not being able to handle this this African reporter. It just makes my day.
Question on the U.S.-Africa Summit. Can you take a question on the U.S.-Africa Summit? Karine, why is it so hard to take a question on the U.S.-Africa Summit when the president is leading 50 African leaders, the biggest gathering of leaders of his administration? Why is it hard for you to give me a question?
It is not hard. I've answered. Would you let me answer the question, or are you going? Okay.
Give us questions.
Okay. I'm trying to answer your question. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I just tried. You wouldn't let me. Go ahead. I just tried, and you would not let me, sir. So your colleague is going to ask a question. Go ahead. No, I literally just tried to answer your question. You shut me down. So now your colleague is going to.
Let me take the question first before
Okay.
you answer.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Question on the respect.
Question on the U.S.-Africa Summit.
Dude, she turned it right around. You say what? You ask me a question one more time. Turning this bus around. Swear to God. Okay, you cross the line. Upset that a WNBA player was traded to Russian arms dealer. Fringe. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How dare you? How dare you even question that? Doocy also, she is so fragile. She really is fragile. Well, she's starting to lose it. I mean, I would understand because I would start to get annoyed eventually too. But like, do you not know what job you're getting? You're basically the boot to the organization. Everyone's going to shit on you. Everyone's going to hate on you. Everyone is going to mock you. And you're going to just constantly have to spit out lies. Like, I don't know. I wish we could have fun during these press conferences and just laugh. Like Peter Doocy, Fringe. She's racist against African journalists, exactly. But speaking of Peter Doocy asked a pretty funny question. Here's his other question today when it comes to Twitter.
And just one other topic. You've said a few times that you really can't talk about communications between the Biden campaign and Twitter. Who is telling you that that's off limits?
I've already had that conversation with you, with your colleague, I believe yesterday. I've already addressed this multiple times this week, so I don't have anything more to add. Again, we've litigated this all week. Don't have anything to add.
So not a campaign
I'm going to the back.
question,
I'm going to the back. I'm going to the back.
She's just mad because she's not getting a show on MSNBC. Oh, she'll get her show. Don't you worry about that. She'll get her freaking show. Because she deserves it. Okay? This is just a reminder that there are still people with COVID era policies going on. Glenn Youngkin announced end of COVID era draconian overreach and reimbursement for unjustly fined businesses, which is good. COVID era fines and penalties have now been dealt a final blow in Virginia, with some of those unfairly hit with may soon be reimbursed, which is so great. Governor Glenn Youngkin indicated earlier this week that while the damage was done by the Democratic predecessor administration in the state of Virginia cannot be undone, he nevertheless is taking action going forward to end COVID era draconian overreach. Congrats, Glenn. How long did it take you? Just Republicans moving as fast as the speed of sound instead of light. You know it. You love it. It's beautiful to see. I think this is also huge news and a good step in the right of smashing ESG, because screw ESG as it continues to cripple us, because green energy is totally green. Vanguard quits net zero climate effort, citing need for independence. Vanguard's group pulling out a major investment industry initiative on tackling climate change. The world's biggest mutual fund manager said on Wednesday, explaining that it wants to demonstrate independence and clarify its views for investors. Top investors like Pennsylvania-based Vanguard facing mounting pressure from Republican blah 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 blah. It's just good to see. As more and more companies are starting to, like BlackRock, are starting to get rid of ESG stuff and stop investing in these stuff and start investing in stuff that will make us a better country, because it's not working out too well, is it? And you're going to start not having, people aren't going to invest with you if they don't have any money to invest. Vanguard. These are just things. But if you reimburse the small businesses for unjust COVID violation, how is he going to have enough money for reparations? Oh my God. In due time, Virginia could be next. You never know. Just say it again. Wait, what are you talking to me? How much longer before she really snaps? Probably soon. Willie, I want that bag. Bet October 2023, $5. Willie, put me down for $3. You guys are hilarious. Wait, what did Willie say? How much longer before she really snaps? Okay. I was like, why are you guys betting? But here's our perfect example of an economy. This woman is an expert and you need to listen to her every word. She's on CNN, and that's when you know she's right.
One of the things that can be sort of the downside, if I could say this, of lower gas prices, sometimes they fall because you're worried about a recession. Yeah. So they're falling for the wrong reasons. You know, they were very low during the pandemic. That's because we were in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't want low gas prices because the economy is crashing. She continues to go on.
And sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, you know, gas prices are up so much from that pandemic low of $1.85. Well, you don't want low gas prices because the economy is crashing, right?
Christine.
The economy is crashing. Oh, it's good to be alive. Back to you, Dick. Jeez. I mean, that laugh is incredible. She knows exactly what it's like to be worried about the price of gas.
Low gas prices because the economy is crashing, right?
Christine.
Low of $1. Oh, you know, gas prices are up so much from that pandemic low of $1.85. Well, you don't want low gas prices because the economy is crashing, right?
We're not in a recession. We're not in a recession. That's a lie. It's a right-wing conspiracy. Again, the right wing at it again. Derek, read this out loud if you agree. I just did. You son of a gun. I need to check on y'all's. Wait. Oh no. Did we miss Brittney Griner landing? Oh, it was just that plane. I totally forgot about her. I guess you can put that down as totally a sane thing to think. Oh my God, you don't want lower gas because the economy is crashing? I know. I don't get it. You don't get it. None of us get it. But we're here. I need to make sure I didn't miss any of y'all's chats or they were censored. Oh, there's one. Bring back bullying for the dumbasses. Oh, that's one. Queen. Perfect. Speaking of insane, let's you heard it. Derek bets a case and a half of Zima that she'll break by Christmas 2030. Easy money, dude. I'll bet that right now. Let's check in on our queen and queen. I see why he married her. I don't know what that was. Who needs cheap gas when you can eat crickets? Exactly. Thank you for saying that. Crickets are full of protein, and those of you that don't care for crickets, then I don't know what to tell you. He is even kind of cringe. I know. I think by the time this like Netflix documentary airs, he's gonna be like, we're done. We're done. You're done. We're done. What a joke they are. They seriously are a joke. Harry's face is screaming, oh my God, what have I done? Yeah. I think he's thinking like, what have I done to this world? I've made it worse. I made it a worse place to live. Or like, why do I keep giving this woman a microphone? Some people shouldn't have a microphone in front of their face. Kanye! Harry's face is it's almost like watching Madonna watching those two. Oh my God, so true. Madonna now? I'm like, just age gracefully. I think that's like one thing I would encourage everyone to do. You don't have to act your age, but you also don't have to act insane. Like, I think you need to find like a balance between acting your age but also enjoying life and not being insane. Find that balance. Whatever that balance is for you, may you apply it for the rest of your life. I saw this video and I thought it was interesting. Some people like this guy, some people hate him. His name's Glenn Beck. But he starts, hot girls here. Oh, thanks. Finally, we have some real chatters that I can get rid of. Thank you. Everyone, hot girls are there, past 36 fun. Thank you for doing that. It's almost nice that I keep them, because it makes the algorithm look good for me. It's like, wow, this guy's really chatting a lot. Okay, I'll block him. Where are the hot girls? Find the hot girls. I just blocked that person. I almost want to unblock them, because they were adding to the chat. They were adding to the chat. All right, this video on Glenn Beck, I think, could be really important. He's talking about the federal agency robbing Americans of private land. I don't really know what to think about this, but I want to know more. Click yes if you want to know more.
Now he's Blue Ribbon Coalition. We have Ben Burr on with us now. He's Blue Ribbon Coalition Executive Director. He is watching and fighting against the federal land grab that mainly is happening in the West. Ben, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Glenn.
So did you look in? I had my office reach out to you and ask you about the story of the homeowners that have to walk to their cabins and nobody is repairing the road because it's BLM land now. Is this just another land grab?
I believe it is. I've been working against these federal agencies for years now, and one of the common trends I see is that these agencies work to dispossess property owners of their property, and the way they do it is through what is called a regulatory taking. They enact so many regulations, they make it so difficult for you to access and enjoy your property that eventually you just can't afford to own it anymore. So you sell it, and then they turn it into a wilderness or a conservation area or something, and it's a really pernicious form of tyranny that exists within our public land system, and these poor property owners in Oregon have been fighting the BLM for 2 years to be able to access a road that they've been accessing since 1906 to go to these cabins, and now the BLM's telling them they're not allowed to do it. They put up a gate, they won't give them a key, and they are being prevented from going to what is essentially their homes.
So what is it that they can do?
Well, currently, we're putting a lot of pressure on the BLM. They've started an administrative process to see if they can reopen this road. But the reason that I think this needs national attention is because there just needs to be pressure. Congressman Bentz has been helpful in trying to get this done, but as you know, the Republicans were in the minority last Congress. As soon as they're in the majority, I'm hoping there's some congressional scrutiny on the behavior of what's going on at this BLM office. I don't think that the BLM should be an agency that can just decide one day that you can't go to your home anymore and they block off a road. And
I got news for you. I know you agree with me on this. No agency should be able to get up one day and just change the rules. No agency should do that. Congress makes the laws.
They don't even have to change the rules. The BLM's own rules say, like, if you go look at their handbook, it says that they cannot deny a property owner access to go and use and enjoy their property. They're not following their rules, and so, but they are willing to play chicken. And so the question is this going to have to go to court? It's just frustrating that might have to be the outcome, because all you need is for one field manager to change his mind and say they can keep using this road they've been using since 1906. And one thing you should know is,
can you imagine going home to your home and all of a sudden a federal agency is like, hey, can't come through here, you can't use that road anymore. Make sure to go to the nearest city and enter your small cubicle space where you can have right think.
But I did help them get emergency access to go winterize.
Okay, this wasn't as interesting as I thought it was. I just think that's insane. I just think that is crazy. All right, we'll watch this one. Ben Shapiro talking about how they are grooming your children. He used the G word, which is so triggering for me.
Social media anymore. It's a word that has become absolutely forbidden. That word, of course, is groomer. If you say the word groomer, this means that you are some sort of Now, the word groomer does have a history, a semantically overloaded history, because there are two types of grooming. There's grooming, as in you are a sexual predator and you are actively talking to small children about sex because you want to have sex with the small children.
You mean minor attracted persons? It's different. It's different for all of us.
Or with young teenagers. And this sort of language was used as a slur for many gay and lesbian, homosexual people over the course of history. The idea was that if you were gay or lesbian,
Ben Shapiro's voice is off-putting. It works, though. I miss Ben with the beard.
Lesbian, what you really were, you were attempting to groom kids. Okay, and that was used as a slur because the notion that gays and lesbians prey on children at a rate that is wildly different from that in the straight population, there's not a lot of evidence to support that particular viewpoint. Okay, fair enough. There's another meaning to the word grooming, and that is how the word grooming actually is typically used. So if you groom somebody politically, what that means, if you're grooming somebody for higher office, it means that you are training somebody for higher office. If you groom somebody into an ideology, the idea is that you are grooming
bigotry towards degenerates. Yeah, exactly. They're not murderers. They're, I don't know. I don't even know what to change it to. There are parts of the country where you will get violently punched for using the word minor attracted person. I believe you get punched in the mouth for saying something like that around me. I got a case of the Mondays. Coincidentally enough, I'm always in those parts of the country. Amen.
Them into a certain way of thinking. You're ushering them and indoctrinating them into a certain way of thinking. And it's that second sense of the word grooming that is now being utilized in our public schools, in our private schools, with regards to radical gender and racial ideology. It is happening at public and private schools all across the country. The more elite, the more it's happening. I know a lot of conservatives who live in red areas who seem either unaware or unwilling to pull their kids out of schools where this kind of crap is going on because they just don't want to believe that it's going on. But it is, in fact, going on. You have many people who are in the upper levels of administration in public and private schools who have decided that radical gender and sexual ideology must be taught to children, that the way that you create a
right after that, we have a Project Veritas video to watch.
Better world is by indoctrinating them in the rules of tolerance. And when they mean tolerance, what they mean is sexual confusion, sexual fluidity. If there's...
Which is easy to do to children. It's incredibly easy to confuse them because they're children.
It's a human cost to quote-unquote tolerance. And we don't mean tolerance as in we won't hurt you. We mean tolerance as in what you are doing is morally acceptable and praiseworthy. If the cost of that is confusing a bunch of young children, if the cost of that is giving kids a chaotic picture of life that they are not ready for, if the cost of that is not providing the rules for the road that are necessary to create the preconditions for human happiness, they will happily do that. And this is why, because you have to wonder why it is that so many administrators and teachers are not only going along with this sort of ideological and sexual grooming, why exactly they are doing this sort of stuff. You have to wonder why they're so enthusiastic about it, because that's what's really amazing about all.
The Petos have their own flag now, and the Gadsden flag is racist. A weird dimension we slipped into. It really is. It's part of. I know, like, he's like questioning it, but when you're a part of a religion, like especially a religion of the left where there's no book, there's no history, and they're kind of making it up as they go, things are happening very fast. And so that's why they constantly change, because there's no good book. There's no word. They're just constantly creating new words to believe and the new literature to believe. Constantly changing because it's a postmodern ideology where you don't have to have objective truth. It's subjective. So if I feel this way right now, that means you need to feel the same way I feel about it in this matter right now. And if you don't, you're a bigot. You're different. You're other than. You're basically a January 6th rioter, insurrectionist.
All of this.
Remember back when the majority of us agreed that children's lives were innocent? God, yeah. The good old days, as they say.
Is that we went from, we just want whatever we want in the privacy of our own bedroom, to we must teach your kids actively because the institutions of society are bad and they teach your kids bigotry and evil. And so we are going to ideologically groom an entire next generation of people who believe like we believe. And that means we have to grab them at the earliest possible age and indoctrinate them in our viewpoint as to sexual fluidity.
Well, the earlier the better, because, well, if you can captivate their minds early on, later in life, it becomes easier. And you don't have to reiterate or actually have to convince adults to believe this stuff because, well, you've already believed it for so long. It's easy to make the rules as you go when you can ignore blatant double standard. Well, again, with subjective truth, there is no objective truth. And so double standards aren't a thing, Papa. You can just have double standards and it be okay. Because what's a standard anyways? I don't know. Do you? Get them before 8. It's too late, groomer. Get him before 8. It's too late. That's a good one.
Sexual orientation and gender identity. And we have to do that at the earliest possible without the parents involved. In fact, because we need the parents not involved. The parents are an obstacle to our utopian visions of reshaping the next generation. And this obviously is having an extraordinary effect on kids. And you can see it by the numbers. You can see that the amount of LGBTQ plus identification among the younger generation is now in excess of 20%, like 1/5. And when you're talking about the youngest generation, it's going to be higher than that. It's going to be closer to 1/3. Okay, that is not because society has suddenly become more tolerant and genetics stayed the same. That is because
standards are a social contract. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Society has now created a social contagion where it is considered praiseworthy and good.
Right. You tell a kid that if you believe this, if you are this, you are better than. And so obviously every single child would want to be the best in the class if all you have to do is say, I am this, and all of a sudden people give you money. Like, I don't know if you've seen that South Park episode where, like, Tweek and Krieg come out as a gay because people were making, like, art about them making out. And then, like, the father was like, I don't know what to do, and then started giving his son money. It's just ridiculous. It's like, he was like, son, I heard you're gay. Here's $20. I mean, why? Of course they are.
And attention getting. If you involve yourself in this sort of identification at the center of your being, at the core of your being, and this is being pressed down from the heights of our culture. This is why it matters when Disney says that they are pushing a quote unquote not so secret gay agenda. And this is why it matters when you see public school administrators who are saying quite openly that they are indoctrinating kids into the wide variety of sexual pleasures available to them at the age of 13 or 14 with any partner of.
You remember, like, growing up with Disney that there would be, like, that one scene on, like, Aladdin was like, all you teenagers take off your clothes. And, like, in Little Mermaid, like, the guy that was marrying them had, like, a boner or something. Like, there was, like, all that kind of, like, sly stuff. And people were like, oh, disgusting, that's crazy. And you had to really look for it. Now it's just like in your face. And they're like, oh, well, we got rid of that stuff in the old movies, but now we're just like putting it out in our new ones. I don't get it. It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to try to, my damnness to homeschool my daughter. That's awesome. I'm going to do the same. I refuse to let her be indoctrinated with this crap. It's not worth it, man. I find if homeschooling is too expensive, find pods, find community. I don't, online school. Like, I don't. There's got to be like better ways. It's just not worth it. It was bad when I was like in public education. It's worse now.
Any kind. It's all morally equivalent. And anybody who says different, shut up, you bigot. This comes up today because Project Veritas has revealed tape of a dean of students, a guy named Joseph Bruno, at Francis W. Parker School.
I'd rather just watch it. Instead of like listening to Ben talk about it, let's watch the video itself. Here's Project Veritas right here.
Joe Bruno.
Yes.
Hi there. James O'Keefe with Project Veritas.
Hell no, to the no.
You're on camera here talking about giving anal sex toys and butt plugs to little children.
They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them.
Sir, why are you running? Why are you running away?
Why are you running?
Sir, anal butt plugs and toys?
Excuse me?
Bruno, just, excuse me, this guy, this teacher is talking about giving sex toys to your children.
This is the space where we're distancing children.
Right.
Can you actually evacuate the patio?
Right,
please?
but he was giving sex toys to the
I
children.
understand. I have children here.
Isn't it ironic? I have children here. Please don't talk about that. It's only okay if he talks about it, okay? I have children here, and I don't want Project Veritas saying this. It needs to be under the safety of Bruno.
Don't you think? Please evacuate.
We're leaving. But he was talking about giving sex toys to children.
Thank you for leaving.
We understand. Reporters asking someone a question. We are leaving. You bet. As you can see, he ran into the building as quickly as possible. Are we allowed to stand on the side?
That man should be in jail. I freaking wish. His school district offered him, offended him. Also really pathetic. His school district offended him. Also real pathetic. Yes.
Sidewalk, sir?
Sidewalk, I can't control that.
Thank you. We're going to stand on the sidewalk right here. Do you know a Joseph Bruno? Bruno?
Bueller?
Yes, you're filming me. We're filming you too. Joe Bruno, your dean of students, talking about giving sex toys to children. Okay.
Oh, God. Let's go back.
Which is apparently an elite school in Chicago, bragging about Pride Week that they have at this elite private school. And what they do, they had their LGBTQ plus health center come into the classroom. And he describes in great detail what exactly is taught to very young students. We're talking about 14, 13-year-old students. What is taught to them during LGBTQ plus Pride Week. Again, this is not saying treat all your students, your fellow students well. This isn't saying don't bully anybody else. This is actively indoctrinating kids into sexual fluidity and radical gender ideology. That's what this is. And there's only one reason for that. And it is because you are trying to indoctrinate them. You're trying to change how they think. You're trying to change how they act. You're trying to usher them in a world of sexual chaos. Now, your chief goal, by the way, as a parent, is to protect the innocence of your kids. But there are a lot of administrators like this.
Innocence. Like, again, I forget who's Papa said that. Like, these people don't think children are innocent. They're like, these children are faced with this every day, and I just want to come alongside them and help them understand their thoughts and feelings.
This one, who apparently their chief goal is to make sure.
What happened to the laws that protected children? What constitution? What laws? I mean, it's like, it's just whoever's in power dictates what's going on. You know what I mean? I can't. Again, we keep going in circles. We don't live in this like fantasy democracy republic. We live in an oligarch, like corporatist oligarchy. If you fit the protected class, you're protected, and if you are part of progress, you can do whatever you want. How do schools get passes like this? Just like the kid beating others and gets suspended out of jail. I don't know. He's probably going to be suspended with pay. You know what I mean? It'll be like one of those kind of things.
Sure that your kid's innocence is not protected because in their mind, the least innocent thing is moral standards. Moral standards are not innocent. See, they believe that non-judgmentalism is the highest form of morality, which means that judgmentalism is immoral. If you believe something is wrong, then that is because you are immoral, and you're ruining the innocence of your kids if you teach them right from wrong. Right and wrong are biases.
Yes,
right and wrong
objective.
are forms of discrimination because you're discriminating against behavior.
Yes, because if it's subjective, you're trying to be objective in a subjective world. How dare you? Public school, private school, different institutions, same results. It's turning into a science fiction dystopia of the poor and middle class. It really is. It's like it's hard to watch. As somebody who fits in those categories, unlike Ben, no offense, like I can't afford to put my child in a good institution like he can. And so it's just hard. It's hard to watch, and it makes you feel kind of hopeless sometimes. But I think that's why this community and other communities like this are like really good to be a part of, because it makes you not feel alone, because we're in this. When I say we're in this together, I literally mean it.
And that ruins innocence, because innocence is you look at everything with a naive eye. You look at everything, and everything is morally equivalent to everything else. Well, in a certain sense, you understand why that sort of semantic game is being played. When you see a baby is innocent, can make not capable of judgment. But when it comes to moral innocence, that is a very different question. Moral innocence also presupposes the idea that there can be moral guilt. And moral guilt attends to
objective, good versus evil, good versus bad. You know, the law is written on your heart.
To sin, typically speaking. Moral guilt also attends to behaviors that are damaging to people. And it turns out that sexual cast is
group chat, virtual hug, yeah,
quite damaging to teenagers. On just a utilitarian level, put aside your own moral prerequisites, even if you're a utilitarian, the kind of ideology that we're teaching to our kids right now, which is resulting in extraordinary levels of suicidal ideation, confusion, depression, anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that when you teach kids chaos, they become incredibly anxious. They become
yes. And then you also tell those same kids to lock down, be afraid of the other, stay in your home. Only a certain amount of people you should be allowed to be around as long as they take the shot. Those people are safe. The other people are unsafe. We're creating an entire generation of people full of anxiety and 1 second from exploding. Like that's like literally what we're creating. Community, not a falling best shot. Hey, thanks,
incredibly
man.
suicidal.
Thanks, Wilson.
This is not any sort of mystery. We've known this in psychology for literally decades. There's nothing new about this. It turns out that kids, more than any other species of being, kids are prone to choice paralysis. And when they are faced with an enormous number of choices, and they understand the consequences of none of them, and you refuse to teach them the consequences of any of them, they become anxious and confused. Kids need rules of the road. But we now have an entire system that is predicated on the idea that if you teach kids rules of the road, this makes you a bigot. And so we have to indoctrinate you. If the needle is moved in one direction toward traditional morality, it's not enough to go to sort of some moral neutral. We just won't teach this stuff in school. We actually have to push all the way to the other side, which is essentially promiscuity or polymorphous perversity in the Herber-Marcuse model. I don't know how else to explain what you're about to hear from Joseph Bruno, the Dean of Students at Francis W. Parker School.
I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Wait, where is this Parker School? I swear I know where this school is. Where is this school? Let's put it on maps. Francis Parker. Oh my God, I do. Oh my God, it's right by like Lincoln Park Zoo. Oh my God. Okay, keep going.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students at the prestigious Francis W. Parker Private School in Chicago, which happens
pass around dildos and butt plugs. I kid you not, in this clip. And this is apparently is what kids must be taught at the age of 14. And by the way, it's not just radical sexual ideology, it's also radical gender ideology. In fact,
14. I mean, what? If we go to stages of development from 14, 12, let's see, ages 12 years old to 18 years old, kids, what kids are experiencing the most when it comes to their growth is identity and confusion. So you want, during this time period of a teen's life, is to focus on building a solid identity. And if they don't build the solid identity, they will then have confusion.
If you just go to the Francis W. Parker School website right now, they have an upcoming event, January 23rd.
It's also disturbing that you combine this with the ease of access to pornography, young teens. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. And people act like pornography addiction isn't a real thing. It's just as addictive as meth. Scientifically proven. Same effects to your brain.
Starring the writer, speaker, and internet yeller, Ijeoma Oluo, in So You Want to Talk About Race, for the 5th annual Dorita and Robbie Robinson Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Belonging speaker. Wow, they've now turned it not just into DEI, it's now DEIB, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging speaker. They also have a lecture on January 19th from Dr. Daniel Siegel, Intraconnected, Self, Identity, and Belonging. All of this sounds just like wonderful.
Papa says, I quit pornography the second I realized how horrible the industry was. Good for you, man. So much rape, abuse, sex trafficking goes on in that industry.
Wonderful, totally apolitical stuff. All this is part of a broader agenda, and that is to inculcate in the youngest generation a complete aversion to any sorts of rules, to any sorts of roles, to any sorts of tradition. And to say to these kids that you are basically
But teens don't know any better? No, because they don't know about that going on right now. They're still working, again, on their identity and identity. They're thinking about that constantly. Their teens are focused on their identity consistently. And I got that from Erickson's model of psychological stages. They're focused on identity. That is everything to them. And so that's why it's so important about what's going on right here, because the school sees it as a way to build their identity, because that's all they think about. Dysphoria has gone up 100,000%. Is that true? Pornography is so fake it's hard to. Yeah, I wouldn't watch it. It's not worth it.
Cartesian.
That's why they call it pornography. It's fake.
Sexual being.
A real woman cares all that?
In opposition to your body very often, right? This is how you end up with trans ideology, is the idea that you're sort of a disconnected soul in a meat body, and that all you have to do is shift your meat body to meet with the dictates of your soul, and then you will be all right. But then that's why your real sex is what you feel inside. It is not your body. Your body's just sort of a meat suit that you wear around all day. This bizarre notion that the core of identity lies in an amorphous view of your own sexual identity, it is so core to what all of the left is now teaching, the radical left anyway. All of the radical left is predicated on the idea that institutions, historic institutions, are shot through with racism and sexism and bigotry, and they have to be torn down. And the best way to tear them down is grab the kids and grab them early and groom them into this ideology and make them messengers of the ideology. Now, there are a lot of conservative parents who just are unaware of this. A lot of conservative parents, they're still operating on
There's a lot of conservative people that have no idea what's going on in the world because it's too stressful for them to think about.
The same track that their parents and their grandparents were operating on. And they're trying to climb that ladder of success. And the way that you climb that ladder of success, historically speaking, is you do fairly well financially. You send your kids to a better school than you did. Your kids send their kids to a better school than they did. And eventually, one of your kids gets into Harvard, becomes super rich, and that's sort of the culmination of the American journey. There's one problem with this. There's a lot of baggage that comes along with this these days. And if you are more interested in climbing the ladder of financial and material success than in protecting the innocence of your kids, if you're willing to ignore the indoctrination of your kids, the targeting of kids for this sort of ideological grooming, and I keep using the word over and over because that's what it is. It is indoctrination into a particular idea about life, into a particular worldview, and it is terrible for children. You're going to have to show me why it's better for kids to teach them that all forms of sexual activity are morally equivalent and good, why it is necessary to show
I'm sorry. Will, you had to look that word up in the chat? Ashley, what are you lost about? Tell me.
13, 14-year-old kids, butt plugs and dildos, as this dean of students is talking about. You're going to have to explain to me why 5-year-olds should be exposed to drag queens. Or, for that matter, why drag queens feel the necessity to expose themselves to 5-year-olds. And why exactly do they feel that that is a good thing?
And again, you see so many prominent leftists talk about how that is just a right-wing talking point, and it's not even true, even though there's freaking footage of it. I just, again, the apple is not an apple, it's an orange.
And the answer is they feel that that's a good thing because they are going to Pied Piper like take your children from you, and then they're going to return your children in a different form. They're going to indoctrinate your kids, and then they're going to send your kids home, and your kids are going to argue with you that you don't accept your kids as they are. They are placing kids in opposition to their parents. And the truth is, very often, they're just outright and upfront about all of this. In fact, just a few years ago, I think this is maybe the single most telling video in the history of all video.
Oh, please be the gay choir, please.
The San Francisco Gay Men's Choir did a song, yes. And it was all about how they were going to take away your children. We're going to indoctrinate your children.
I remember critiquing this video when it first came out, and I thought it was like the creepiest thing ever. And then I saw constantly people on the left saying it's just a joke. It's just a joke. And it's like, yeah, but it's on the nose.
Lyrics to that song say, "We will convert your children." That is literally the title of the song. Let me play a little bit of it.
I will convert your children. Then we'll turn to you, giving up the fear inside is freeing like you never knew. Go and see San Francisco. Go and turn up that disco. You'll forget you were ever upset. We'll convert your children and make an ally of you.
The lyrics to that song go like this. You say we all lead lives you don't respect, but you're just frightened. You think we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct. And they're overtly saying this. Now again, what they will say is that when I say that they are grooming kids, that what I'm saying is that they actually just want to have sex with the kids. I'm not arguing that. There may be some fringe of these people who actually are pedophilic. That may be true because that's true in a lot of groups. I mean, that's true in, unfortunately, nearly every community on earth. There are people who are actual sick pedophiles. But what they certainly are doing, and they're just open about it, is ideologically grooming these kids into they're not their kids, they're your kids. And they will grab your kids and turn them against your value system. That is an overt goal. It's not hidden. It's not a conspiracy theory when you just say it out loud. Alrighty, guys, the rest of...
Again, if it's a joke, sure. But also, it's on the nose. And it's... The more that time goes on, just like all conspiracy theories, it seems to be proven not a conspiracy. That's all. Hey, I didn't mean to rob you of your innocence. I thought we learned this in public school. Sorry, God. What is that word I'm looking for? I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. 2 hours and 16 minutes. Man, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for chatting with me and making me not feel alone. It means the world to me. You guys are the best people on earth. Queen, Ashley, Papa, Willie, Wilson, so many people. You guys are the best. There was a couple other, I can't remember the names. But you guys are the best. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It means so much to me. It stops being a theory at some point. Yes, it does. It's just a little typo here, but I figured I was just out of the loop on some new slang. Please say you mean that. I really hope you mean that. But you guys are amazing. I hope you guys have a freaking fantastic night and enjoy your night. Find a way to make a difference in somebody's life tomorrow. Whether it's serving them even though they don't deserve to be served, and give them a smile and ask them how their day is. Something like that. That was rough, the last 30 minutes on the East Coaster. Oh, wow. Dang, you're holding in. Thank you, Ashley. Holding it down on the East Coast. Dang, that's late. Wait, are you saying my show was rough? You son of a gun. Can I make a shameless plug? No, yes, of course. Make a shameless plug. What's the plug? You're always welcome to make a plug. I don't care. Called me out on the bad spelling. Hey, I'm dyslexic too. That's just part of it. That's part of the whole thing. But you guys are amazing. Hope you guys enjoy your nights. Those of you who are staying up late, you crazy people. Find a way to make a difference in somebody's life tomorrow. Waiting for this shameless plug. Still waiting on it. Live stream tomorrow. Come hang out tomorrow. Hey, cool. Yeah, check out Papa's videos in his other account. Papa has like 10 accounts because he's sketch. It's probably smart. Unlike me, it's like I have my one account, and once I get taken down, I'm screwed. What are you gonna do? Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, people. You guys are amazing. Bye.